Okay, welcome back. So, course communication, these are all the ways that you and I will communicate throughout the summer session. So, whether that's me sending messages to the class or you participating in the different ways of communication, I just want to outline some of these things. So, each week I will post regular announcements to our Canvas homepage with important information regarding the readings, projects, and activities for each week. Students are responsible for logging into Canvas on a frequent basis to view these announcements, and I'll usually send out a message announcing that I've posted an announcement. So that will just explain what we can expect for each week. Messages and email. So while I will check my campus email on a regular basis, students are encouraged to use the message feature in Canvas to contact me. In either case, students should compose their messages, emails in such a way that reflects their rhetorical situation. So what that means is that you're viewing this as a message to your instructor, not just to a friend. I mean, that's essentially what that means, really taking time to treat it seriously just so that your message can be treated seriously. Right, so you'll want to provide a clear subject. So in the subject line, give an indication of what your message is about. You'll want to have an appropriate greeting, so you might say something like, "Hey, Professor Leis." And then, of course, you'll want to have a closing signature as well, so you'll want to sign your email. So whether that's sincerely your favorite student or however you choose to sign off, you want to also put your closing signature there. Again, so it's important that you treat your messages and emails seriously so that they will too be treated seriously by me. Questions, general questions regarding course content, projects, and activities should be posted to the questions discussion board. So in Canvas there is a discussions tab. There's a navigation tab on the left side. And when you click that, it'll show you all the discussion boards for the course, and there's one called questions, and that's where I'd like you to post general questions about things. So if it's something about a project or an activity, something that might benefit the rest of the class, you'll want to post it there, and then I will respond to it, or I'm also encouraging you guys to respond to these questions as well if you know you have the answer to it. So this will benefit all members of our learning community just as it would in a face-to-face classroom environment. Questions pertaining to more personal or specific matters should be asked using the message feature in Canvas. So if it's something very specific to your project, or if you have a very specific concern about, about a project, something that isn't really a general question, then you can go ahead and ask me directly in the message feature of Canvas. Discussion board. To ensure a certain level of participation and interaction among the members of our learning community, we will have weekly discussion boards where students will post in response to specific prompts. Students will also reply to at least 2 other colleagues in each discussion board. Each discussion board prompt contains specific instructions on how to compose your response. So to ensure that it's actually a discussion, to ensure that there's some kind of back and forth among everyone in the class, you'll need to respond to at least 2 students' posts. Now you can respond to more, but at least 2. And for each discussion post, there will be a specific prompt, so you just click on that specific discussion board and you can see what it's about. Optional synchronous meetings. So I've mentioned this already, but 2 days a week I will hold optional synchronous meetings on Zoom, where students may ask me questions and interact with fellow members of our learning community in real time. Specific times for these optional meetings are included at the top of the syllabus, so they're Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. But again, if you can't make these times, or for any given reason, we can also arrange another time for us to meet through Zoom. If you would like to talk about your writing or the projects. Turnaround and feedback. I will be active on Canvas Monday through Friday during our session, which means I will check my messages and the various discussion boards regularly. If you send me a message, you can expect a reply within 24 to 48 hours. I mean, usually it'll be within 24 hours, but just in case, between 24 and 48 hours, unless it is Saturday or Sunday, in which case you can expect a reply the following Monday. So that means you're going to have to plan ahead a little bit. If you have a question about something that is due, like Sunday, for example, you're going to want to ask your questions Monday through Friday so that you can guarantee that I'll respond to you in a timely fashion. Now I may respond to questions or messages over the weekend, but don't expect a reply until the following Monday. Okay, so feedback on projects and activities will be provided on an ongoing basis, meaning I will be checking through the different activities through the week, so you can check in Canvas to see what you've completed, what might be incomplete. But please allow more time for larger projects such as major essay projects. Just because those are longer, it's going to take me a little bit more time to get through them and to provide thoughtful feedback. So just be patient in that. Okay, participation. Participation in an online course is just as important as it is in a face-to-face course. Even though our class is asynchronous, it is important that each student maintains a consistent level of participation each week if they wish to succeed in the course. Students are expected to log into Canvas multiple times a week, at least once daily, Monday through Friday. They are expected to engage in our weekly discussion boards, composing their responses thoughtfully and thoroughly, and they are expected to complete projects and activities thoroughly and submit them on time. If students have not been logging into Canvas regularly, actively participating in our weekly discussion boards, or completing and submitting projects and activities on time, they may be subject to being dropped from the course. So it's really important that you are maintaining a consistent level of participation on Canvas on a weekly basis. Just to make sure that you're engaged with the course. Oftentimes, if a student isn't really active on Canvas, they maybe don't log in that often, they tend not to succeed in the course just because there's a huge disconnect between them and the rest of the class. So that's why it's important that you log in at least once daily, Monday through Friday. So on Canvas, I have the ability to look at the analytics for the course, so I can also kind of keep track of when people are logging in and whatnot. So if you haven't really been participating, then chances are there's a good likelihood that you might not succeed. In some cases, you might be dropped from the course. So it's important that you're participating. Conduct and behavior. Just as in a face-to-face classroom environment, students are expected to treat one another with dignity and respect. Because we are all members of the same learning community, we are expected to respect the opinions of our peers even if we may disagree with them. Disrespectful behavior of any kind will not be tolerated. Remember, constructive criticism is different from rudeness. Our goal as a learning community is to cultivate a culture of success, meaning we are enthusiastic about learning, engaged in our course material, and kind to one another. Students are also expected to behave with decorum in their online discussion posts and interactions with fellow students. Inappropriate language, images, and/or links to inappropriate content will not be tolerated, and that could result in disciplinary action or you being dropped from the course. Please review this short document on netiquette, respectful and appropriate behavior for online courses. So netiquette is just a term we use to refer to appropriate behavior and conduct for an online course. Net as in the internet, and etiquette as, manners and things of that nature. So what this all means, essentially, just boiling it down, is I expect everyone to engage with the course with a level of professionalism and kindness. So not being rude to people, not deliberately posting inappropriate materials or things of that nature, or being overly confrontational. Again, we can disagree with somebody, but there's a respectful way of doing that, right? So, in other words, just be kind to one another and use your better judgment about, what is appropriate for an online college course, right? Projects and activities. So here is a breakdown of the different projects and activities that we'll be completing this semester. So we have major essay projects, or MEP as I abbreviate them. This summer session we will write 2 major essay projects. These essay projects are designed to foster the writing strategies necessary for college level academic writing. Students will write multiple drafts of each essay, cultivating an understanding that writing essays is an involved endeavor, requiring work, time, making choices, and taking risks. The prompts for these essays will be provided in the modules in our Canvas shell. Annotated bibliography, or ANBIB as I call it for short, or in the biz as we call it. In order to help us develop our researching skills and maintain a sustained focus on a single research project, we will complete an annotated bibliography. This project is designed to immerse you in the research process for Major Essay Project 2, challenging you to dig into your topic more deeply. This project is also designed to help you find credible sources for Major Essay Project 2. A more detailed prompt will be available in the modules in our Canvas shell. So in other words, this is a way to keep us on track with our research, and I'll explain that in greater detail as the time approaches. Discussion posts. I've already talked a little bit about this, but let me add a little bit more. As a part of our approach to cultivating good creative habits, we will regularly participate in writing and research activities to be posted in our discussion boards. These activities will cover a variety of topics and approaches, but they are all designed to help foster the various habits of mind to lead to increased creativity, curiosity, and appreciation of reading and writing. These regular posts will also allow students to interact with other members of our learning community. Reading response questions, or RRQs as I call them for short. For most of the readings we will do in this course, we will answer a series of reading response questions designed to help us think critically about what we read. These questions will encourage us to read actively, and they will help us analyze what we read with more specificity and academic rigor. Each set of reading response questions will be submitted in the modules in our Canvas shell. So, in other words, this is a way for us to get more from the things that we're reading. So for each reading that we have from Habits of the Creative Mind, there will be a set of reading response questions. If it's a longer reading, there might be more questions. If it's a shorter reading, there might be fewer questions. But in any case, there's going to be a set of reading response questions for the different readings from the course, and you'll submit them through the Canvas modules. Practice sessions. The authors of Habits of the Creative Mind have designed the book to help us practice and develop the habits, behaviors, and attitudes necessary for creativity and critical thinking. At the end of each section in the book, there's a series of activities and exercises, or what they call practice sessions. Throughout the course, we will complete various practice sessions due on specified dates throughout the summer session. The prompts for these practice sessions will be included in the weekly modules in Canvas. So when we complete a practice session, in most cases it will be posted to a discussion board, because I want you guys to see what others are doing, how you're approaching these practice sessions, so that you can also interact with one another. And I'll explain these in greater detail as the time approaches. So in the interest of keeping this video not too long, I'm going to go ahead and end it, and then I'll pick up with a third, so stay tuned.